welcome to episode 107 of Your Ultimate Comeback. I'm Brad, here with Raquel, who's actually in Hawaii, but is videoed in with us. Raquel, how's it going?
It's going. Can you hear the roosters in the background? Yeah.
No, cannot hear that.
It's pretty wild. You can't?
Can you hear the roosters in my background?
No, I cannot.
I wanted to feel like I was in Hawaii, so I brought one with me.
Got it.
Yeah. You sound a little stuffed up, congested or something.
Yeah. That's your letdown effect theory is accurate. Of course, as soon as we left to come here, I got sick. So I've had this nagging head cold, but all good. Far from the heart, as my father-in-law used to say.
Good. Well, so you squeezed this in between some of Quinn's games, so thank you. So this will be a little bit of a short one.
I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, we'll try to make it a good one.
Yes.
So I thought today we'd do a little Q&A. Those tend to go over well, especially when we have short times. Sound good? All right.
Sounds great to me.
Slew of questions we've been collecting. I want to find some good ones. Let's start with this. What's one recovery method people underrate, but should be used daily? I personally think it's walking.
Walking,
I think especially walking outside. Insulin sensitivity and stress hormones are two of the biggest issues for metabolism, and walking every day can really be a positive benefit to those. Especially like walking after a meal is really to help with the insulin response. So I think if more people would spend more time walking, I think it'd be a huge, powerful tool. And it goes for myself. Like I need to find time to walk even more than what I'm doing. I believe it's such a big thing. So I think that would be my answer for that. Like that would be the one recovery method. Because if you improve those two hormones, you're going to recover better. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel better. Everything's going to function at a more optimal rate. So that would be my advice there.
And it doesn't have to be an hour walk with a weighted vest on, correct?
No. Actually, no, it does not. It just needs to be a walk, specifically outside. This is not a training. It's not a training modality. Like we're not trying. We're using it for calming the body down, not trying to train it to look better. There's a big. You can put the weighted vest on and walk with it. It's going to help because it's going to get your heart rate up a little bit higher. But I'm a big fan of using it to calm the body down. Okay, I like this one. What supplement is the most underrated for beginners? I'm going to say the most underrated for everyone. I think it's magnesium. I think magnesium is something everyone should be taking. I think it's very depleted in our food supply. It's very hard to come across. If you work out, you sweat, you're going to be even more magnesium deficient than most. And magnesium is the thing that shuts our body off. It really helps us calm down, relax. It calms down the heart muscle. It calms down muscle tissue. It's a phenomenal tool. And I had an interesting episode the last a few days where I would wake up at 2:30 or 3 in the morning in a panic, like just straight anxious. But my mind wasn't spent on anything. One day I woke up at 3 in the morning, crazy panic attack, and nothing I did would calm me down. So for the whole day, I was just in this heightened, panicked, horrible feeling state. And it was really starting to wear on me. And I was talking to one of my clients, and he was talking about he started using D3K2 with his magnesium because they work together, better together. And he said he was doing it the night before bed, and he noticed his sleep was actually dramatically better. So I decided to move my vitamin D and my K2 to with my magnesium before bed. And ever since I've done that, I have been sleeping dramatically better. I don't quite understand why, but man. So I recommend magnesium, D3 and K2 all together at night before bed, and I am noticing a big shift. So big shout out to my client Randy who shared that with me because it has been a game changer ever since I've done that. And again, I don't understand why putting the D3 and K2. I'm going to look into it.
Yeah.
At that point I was willing to try anything, and it has been awesome. So I will have an answer next time we talk about this stuff as to why it's improved my sleep and the benefit of it, doing it all before bed. But it has been really, really powerful for me. Is there any specific supplement you think?
I'm gonna add that. I do mine in the morning, so I'm gonna try it in the evening.
I've always done mine in the morning. he told me that he started doing it at night, and he had the where he got the idea from. He heard it from someone. I just can't remember. But at that point, I was going to try anything.
Try
and so
anything,
I threw it in there, and then it was awesome. It's been really good. Like, I'm 3 nights in a row now of sleeping all night without waking up in that panic state.
Nice.
Yeah.
What time? How much before bedtime do you take your magnesium?
There's no like magical answer to that. Like,
well, for me, remember, for me, it'll jack me. I know where I'm all screwed up and backwards. So
yeah,
I just wonder, you think taking it earlier in the day?
Okay, so you're an anomaly, right? It's I've come across a couple of people in all my years of doing this that are so magnesium deficient that you give them magnesium, it actually revs them up. Which makes sense because of how much all your classes are done in heat, so you sweat more than a typical person. Right. So I would guess I've seen one person's magnesium serum levels low on her blood work. And so that was another person that when she would take magnesium at night, it would rev her up. Yeah. So in that scenario, you have those people take it in the morning until it starts to calm them down over time, and then you switch it to the evening time. Yeah, so it's very rare that I see that. But yeah, that's the
I just
solution
wonder
I've
if even moving it a couple of hours earlier would help me.
It all depends on how much it revs you up.
Well, it's not crazy. I think if I just bumped it a couple of hours before bed, maybe it might help. I'm going to try that and just see what happens.
But I don't like, it's a very rare thing. So I don't want listeners to like panic or worry about, oh my gosh, if I take this before bed,
is it a weirdo like me?
Yeah, you're not weird. It just typically is a sign of low magnesium levels. Like I said, I've seen one client whose magnesium serum levels, which if your magnesium serum levels are low on your blood chemistry, that's a scary thing. Like, by the time it shows on your blood work as magnesium serum levels being low, we got a big problem. Like, it was scary. I was scared for her when I saw that because I'd never seen it, and I'd heard if you see it, it's not going to be good. If you want to know where your magnesium levels are, red blood cell magnesium levels is the best way to find that. There are tests you can look that will look at red blood cell levels of your nutrients. It's a special test you can find, but that's what you'd want to actually have run. I can't remember the company that I used to use for that one, but a naturopathic doctor could run it for you and get a better idea. That's the best way to see what your nutrient levels really are. Here's a pretty good question. How do you know when you're training too much or too little? That's a hard one. You're training too much. The first thing that I see, the first thing that will show up if you're training too much is your vertical jump will go down or your grip strength will go down. Those are always the first indicators that you're training too much. But most people don't have access to those tools to test it. Typically what I see with people is an emotional response. They'll start to get irritable. They'll start to, that's kind of the big one, is the irritability starts to kick up. So if you're someone training a lot and you're more irritable than normal, that is probably a sign, or you get more emotional. I think it's really important for people to understand when they're doing too much, because people always think more is better. But if you notice that you're more irritable or you're more emotional, that you need to back off. One interesting thing I've learned is high nervous system people, so very explosive athletes, they get very emotional when they've done too much. Typically, the typical person is more of an irritability thing. A very high, neurological person that's very explosive, it becomes an emotional thing. So those are the two kind of windows that I'm looking at with people that when I'm around them, kind of watching as a sign to say, oh, they're pushing too hard. And it could be that they're pushing too hard, or it could also be they're not recovering well enough. It just means that there could possibly be an overtraining effect or an over-fatigue effect happening. And I think most people realize that when they're tired, they feel more emotional. They'll notice that about themselves. They're more irritable, they're more emotional. Yeah. In regards to training too little, I don't have a good answer for that.
I don't think you see much of that.
I personally don't, but I know that there's a lot of people that don't train enough. But I don't have an answer for physiological signs that someone's not training enough or that they're training too little. Are rest days more important than heavy training days?
I bet you're going to say yes.
Yes, but if you're resting too much, you're not getting a good training response stimulus. I would rather someone err in having more rest than too much heavy training volume.
Right.
But typically I find if people have like two to three heavy training days, I find works really well for most people. My professional athletes, I can push to more to 4 heavy training days a week, but they're on the off season. They can handle more high intense training volume than the typical person who's and during season, they're not doing 4 hard workouts a week. They're back down to 2 or 3. So I think 2 to 3 heavy training days a week is enough stimulus that people are going to get a good response from it and they're going to recover well from it. I think if your overall stress load in life is down, I think you can handle up to 4 training days a week. I don't see many people being able to handle more than 4 hard training days a week unless they're on pharmaceutical support.
I like the way you said that.
Yeah, then I'll see that they can handle more training volume successfully. But a lot of those things help you recover more efficiently. So that's why I think they work so well for that. What's one habit you wish you adopted 10 years earlier? For me, that's simple. It's meditation. I wish that I would have bought into meditation much earlier than I did. And I wish I'd even buy into it more now than I do. I know it's super important. I know it has a very positive impact on me. I think what's hard with meditation for me is that it takes a little while of consistency to really reap the benefit of it. Sure. But I know when I'm meditating consistently, it has a massive impact on my overall experience in life. It's not like I meditate one day and all of a sudden I have a great day. It's kind of compounds on itself.
Yeah.
And it's a very easy thing for me to squeeze out of my schedule. It works best for me early in the day, but it gets hard for me to get up earlier than 5 a.m. to meditate. That's why I struggle so much with it, is because it's most beneficial to me early in the day, but that's also when all my people want to train. So that's why it's easy for me to squeeze it out. What's one thing for you wish you would have adopted 10 years earlier?
I think the rest and recovery piece. I was always kind of, you can rest when you're dead. Yeah. And don't waste rest days on when you're feeling good. Wait, you're going to get sick at some point. So then you're going to be forced to have rest days. That was my ridiculous line of thinking previously.
Well, there was a big narrative. The harder you work, the better you look.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think when we're younger, we really lean into that. Because you can get away with a little bit more of that, the craziness. Yeah. It's hard for me to be on vacation here and not, there's a really great gym here in the hotel and I could go in there and do a few things. I haven't done anything. I'm just like, you know what? I've got a cold. I'm just going to let my body heal. And, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The old me would have flipped out about that. I would have found a way,
Yeah.
But I now realize that that's kind of pointless.
Yeah. Here's another good question. What's the most impactful lesson you've learned from interviewing experts? I actually just talked about
interviewing experts.
Yeah. From our guests, basically.
Oh, got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just shared this on another podcast I was interviewed on earlier in the week. It was actually from our guest, Tony Everett, the mindset coach.
Yep.
It was inadvertently learned. Okay. He talked about the failure reset. And I even talked when we interviewed him how much I've enjoyed that, how much of a positive impact I've seen it on my son, for example. And so just to re-reference, the failure reset is when you make a mistake. So in sport, when you make a mistake, how do you re-engage yourself back into the game to move on with it versus what most people do is they'll spin on it.
Right.
And so it's really simple. You make the mistake, you take a deep breath in, you do some physical action. So like my son just tugs on his football gloves. Then you say a specific word. He says next play, and then he runs back to the huddle.
Right.
So I've been playing with this a little bit. I'm like, okay, it works really well. And so I thought, I wonder if in my life, if like something triggers me or if I make a mistake, can it work for me? Mm-hmm. And so I started playing with it and it's pretty awesome. And so what I've done is I've done a little reset for myself to where if I get triggered or I make a mistake or, something that I'll typically spin on, like, oh, I should have said this, I should have done that. I just basically, I tug my hat. So I take a deep breath in, I tug my hat, and I say, move on.
Oh, nice.
And then,
I love it.
And then, it's been working really well for me.
Oh, good. Maybe that's why I hear you have the pep back in your step, that in your sleep.
The pep back in my sleep, the pep back is from sleeping.
Okay, good.
Going multiple days in a row, being up at 2:30 or 3 and not being able to go back to sleep with my schedule, it just wrecked me.
Of course.
It was, I was not a happy camper for a while. My brain wasn't working. I'm looking at emails and text messages, like whole sentences missing, words missing. I couldn't remember people's name. I was like, oh my Lord, I was losing it. Yeah. Have you picked up anything specific you picked up from any of the people we've interviewed?
Oh gosh, let me think about this. I feel like he was a great one. I really liked when we had, oh my gosh, Dr. Jason on, who's going to be on again. I think he is always very interesting about, how he talks about the modalities and how he treats people. It's not just a standard way. Gosh, what else? Let me think about this. Yeah, Tony's was great. I also liked when we had Eric from Bold on.
Oh yeah. He's awesome.
Those, just any of the mindset stuff is really great. Just like what you're saying, because I think we can all relate to that. We all need that.
I think the mindset is such an important pice that
it is.
Yeah, it doesn't get talked about a whole lot. I mean, it's starting to more and more now. I mean, for the longest time, I always believed that if you needed to see a therapist, that was a sign of weakness.
Right.
And I mean, I totally do not believe that now, but
no.
Yeah, I think it's probably the most important factor. And I'm super excited that my 10-year-old, or he's 11 now, is buying into it.
Yeah.
Like, he just got little chunks of it and he's seeing how impactful it is.
It can be, yes.
Really excites me because he's like, he even asked me, he's like, Dad, could I work with Coach Tony some more? I'm like, yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. So he's seeing it as a resiliency thing and a strength thing. He has no other perception of it except, oh, wow.
Sure. This is helping me.
I was throwing up before games because I was so nervous and I was so afraid to make mistakes. And now the new me, I understand how to deal with the mistakes, so I'm not as nervous.
Yes.
So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, Quinn said that she's doing the journal prompt that Tony gave her.
Oh, very cool. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I don't know what it is either. I didn't ask her, but there was some journal prompt and she says, yeah, I do it every day. I'm like, that's great. I figured if she wanted to tell me what it was, then she would. But yeah, I feel like the journaling, and that's something I learned from you, the gratitude, just the 3 things before you lay your head down at night, I think is really important and it helps me. So again, coming back to the mindfulness piece.
Oh, here's a good question. What's one misconception about creatine you hear constantly?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
It's going to make you bloated and water retentive.
Yeah, it's going to make me gain weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the misconception is it causes muscle cells to hold more water. It's called cell volumization. So your muscle cells hold more water. Bloating and water retention is water under the skin. So this is very different. It's your muscle cell. Muscle cell, if you're watching the video, let's say the muscle is usually this full with water. Creatine allows it to be this full, which has a very positive impact on, strength and power and the ability to repeat production of energy. But so many people are so afraid to try it because they believe they hear water, they think water retention, which is very different than cell volumization. And so they miss out on all the benefits of what it can do for muscle, what it can do for performance, what it can do for your brain because of this misconception, fear of quote unquote water retention. And what happens is when the cell volumizes and holds more water, yes, your scale is going to go up a little bit. And so then that just adds, see, I'm bloated. It's causing water retention. It is not. It is causing a cell volumization effect. So the muscle cell is holding more water. You're not holding bloat or water retention or anything like that. There's no extra fat on your body. It's actually doing a very positive thing, but because we're so damn scared of the scale, it holds people back from using it.
Yeah, we women love that.
Yeah.
If the number goes up, it's bad. If the number goes down, it's good. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Oh, here's a good question. I'm going to ask you. What's one trait you admire in people who handle adversity well?
Ooh. Probably that they don't stay in it. That they can do exactly what you were talking about, moving on. I mean, I'm really good about replay over and over in my mind. And what if this had been different, or what if that had been different, as opposed to, okay, that happened. Let's go. Next thing.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at that. So I really admire when people are able to do that. And I see this with players on the court, watching the girls play, a bad play. Okay, we're not going to stay in that headspace, moving on, next play. Yeah. So, but in life, I think it's even harder, because it's really easy to stay in that spot of, oh gosh, this, my brain is really good about spinning out, as you know.
Yeah.
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 As you know.
Yeah.
But, how about you?
I think I've kind of had an interesting, I got to experience some cool things in life, being around, like SWAT teams and, members of it in special forces, and seeing some of them in some very high stress situations. And it is incredible how calm they stay in the middle of extreme chaos. It's almost on there. It looks like it's like they get excited to be there.
Yeah.
Where most people are losing their minds, freaking out, screaming, running for it's almost like they lighten up and get excited to be in that situation.
Yeah.
And so to see them handle these extreme stress situations that would, freak most people out, it's really cool to watch, like how calm and how focused, and it looks like they are enjoying the moment. Like,
it's crazy.
I'll give you an extreme example. I had a guy, he was he was in the Army. He was EOD, which is explosive ordnance disposal. So they deactivate live bombs.
Right.
And he did it for like 20 some years. I'm like, how can you do that? Why do you do that? And he told me, he said, when it's me versus the pink dust, that's the only time I feel alive.
Yes. That's crazy.
Like, whoa. Like,
yeah.
I stressed out over the silliest things. Yeah. So, and I know those people have a genetic component to really handle adversity well, but it's really cool to see. What's the difference between supporting your child versus managing their outcomes?
Oof. Helicopter mom, you mean?
Yeah, or dad.
Yeah.
Oof. Here's how I try to do this. Is that I learned this. Dr. Daniel Amen. So I got to train Dr. Amen for a number of years. So I got to ask him a lot of questions, and we used to have some great discussions on parenting.
Yeah.
And he taught me two really cool things. One, he called it special time. He's like, the best thing you can do with your kids is, he calls it special time. It is, you are fully engaged with them. He goes, it doesn't matter how long it lasts, but you're fully engaged with them. And it is their rules. It's whatever they want to do, however they want to do it. You are not allowed to correct, change, or manipulate anything that they want to do. That is really hard to do.
Yes.
I remember one time I was on a playground with my son, and we were pirates, and it was our pirate ship.
Okay.
And we had to play the game his way. And so I had to follow all his rules. I couldn't correct anything, change anything. And some of the ideas and the things he wanted us to do and why we're doing it were so out of this world crazy. I'm looking, in my head, I'm thinking, there's other parents here watching me.
Yeah.
But they became very epic, special experiences for my kid, because it was all in his crazy fantasy world. We were all in. It was awesome.
That's cool.
So I thought that was a really cool thing that I got to learn. And he said, even as your kids get older, you still got to have special time with them. Like whatever they want to go do, you just go do their thing and you fully enjoy it. It's been some of the best.
Without being on your phone. Right.
Yeah. But the biggest thing was not trying to correct any of their ideas or what they want to do. So when you're having conversations during special time, you're not trying to fix the problems. You're not trying to correct anything. You're just listening.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I had special time with my daughter yesterday because I went into the ocean with her, and I never go into the ocean. It's been years since I've gone into the ocean. So this was a big deal.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Put my head underwater and everything. And then I went in the jacuzzi, and I don't usually do that either. So we had a special time yesterday.
Love it.
Yeah.
The other really cool thing I learned from him about parenting is real world consequences are the most powerful. And as parents, we are not good at letting our kids suffer through real world consequences.
You're right.
Examples he gave me. You get a call from your child. Dad, I forgot my lunch. We want to go fix it. So what we will do is we will stop our day and go take them lunch. He said the best thing you can do is say, well,
that's too bad.
That sucks. But I'm sure you'll figure it out and leave it at that.
Ooh.
Yeah. And they've just like us figure it out.
Yep.
But he told me that so many of the parental issues that he has with parents and their kids that he deals with could easily be solved with allowing kids to suffer real world consequences.
I've been guilty.
I do my best to let my kids suffer through those.
Yeah.
But I'm far from being perfect at it, but I believe him because I watch my kids when they get in that situation and I let them suffer through it. They learn very quickly and they change. What I've learned, if I cater to that, it just keeps repeating itself.
Right. You're
I let them
right.
suffer the consequence. It nips itself in the butt.
Sure. Big teaching moment, right?
Yeah. So I think in answer to that question, I think those supporting your child versus managing their outcomes, I think those are the two coolest lessons I've learned from specifically from Dr. Amen on how to support my kids versus, and allowing them to manage their outcomes versus me.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've had to just realize that my children have their own thought processes and they're not going to agree and align with me on everything.
Yeah.
So that's a hard lesson to learn. It's like, oh, you don't feel exactly as I do about this? Why not?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think kids don't, I know as my kids get older, my older kids, like they can feel the attempt of control on their lives.
Absolutely.
And they don't like it. They do not like it.
Not at all. Nope. You're absolutely right. They want it. They want it. If that. Yeah. You're right.
I'm lucky enough with my daughter. She will voice it to me when she feels like we are trying to control her. And I like that she feels safe enough to tell me that she can feel that and she doesn't like it.
My daughter does too.
Yeah.
And then it's like.
Yeah. I think here last. I kind of like the questions that have been coming through on parenting. Yeah. Let's see. What should parents stop doing that accidentally kills their child's confidence?
Ooh. Yikes.
I know some things that I see.
Stop doing that kills their confidence. I just think that we need to be aware of how we say things, and especially if it's anything about physicality, especially a daughter, that stuff stays forever. I think I mentioned on this podcast before that at one point I had said to Quinn, I think it's probably been, I don't know when it was, a year or two ago, I'm sorry I gave you the big rib cage that I have. Our rib cage sticks out further. I said, I'm sorry I gave you that. Not even thinking that would be a thing. Yeah. Oh, she remembers that. I mean, you got to be so careful about stuff like that is what I've learned, because is there something wrong with that? That's how they read it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. So I see a lot of this with younger kids, obviously with my son playing sports, and I know I talk a lot about sports, but that's the world that I live in with my kids. But one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is that when you're learning new skills or you're trying to develop in a skill, failure is the way to development. Like you have to attempt it, make a mistake, learn from it, get better at it.
Right.
And I think parents and coaches have a very hard time letting kids make mistakes to learn and grow from them.
Yes.
And so instead of creating environments where it's safe to attempt to do something you don't quite know how to do and fail at it and learn from it and get better at it, which is how growth happens.
Right.
The response that kids get when they make a mistake creates an environment where they no longer want to risk making mistakes.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it kills confidence because there is no world of safety to be able to go out and make a mistake to get better and grow in that, whatever that skill development is, to where they then just stop pushing themselves. They live in a world of safety. Yeah. Yes. They know what they can do. They know what they can handle, and they do not risk going outside of that.
Right.
Because they don't want to get yelled at or they don't want to get called out.
Sure.
And so I think I see kids, they lose confidence in their ability to risk.
Yes.
They just stay safe.
Yep.
But then that safety realm holds them back from development because I get it. I wouldn't want to attempt to do something that I'm unsure of, knowing that if I'm not good at it, I'm going to get yelled at. Why would I go do it?
Exactly.
So I think that's the thing that I see with kids. So I really try to create with the kids I'm coaching a world of safety of, hey, if you're not making mistakes, we're not doing things right. If everything is running perfect and you're not making mistakes, we're not doing something right. Because the only way I feel you can get better is to make mistakes, learn from mistakes, and grow from the mistakes.
What's the Wayne Gretzky statement? You miss 100% of the shots you never take.
Yeah.
I think that's very accurate.
A lot of kids live in a world where they won't even take the shot because they don't want the risk of missing the shot and then getting yelled at. Yeah.
Right.
Sweet. Well, cool. I know that Quinn is about to start playing again. You told me you had 35 minutes and we're at 36 minutes and 48 seconds. So I'm
going to make my way back down.
Up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for taking the time to jump on.
Of course. My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Good seeing you. Yep. Thank you.